Hey, what's going on, guys? Dr. Sean J. Harris here at Generational Wealth Academy. Let me share with you real quick, just to be transparent. I live an amazing life. I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you that simple things that I've done in my life, simple decisions that I made, a series of good decisions that I made, put me in a position to be where we are today, to be able to have time and money freedoms and just be able to do the cool things in life that we want to do and not have to be confined to necessarily 9 to 5 or a forced schedule upon our lives. So let me give you a little backstory just of how we got to this point. It all started, I realized very quickly in life that I needed coaching. In multiple areas in our lives, we need coaching, whether it's finances, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, whether it's personal, mental health, whether it's physical conditioning. There's always a need for coaching because we can't do everything on our own. Even the greatest have coaches. Now, here's the deal. No matter how great of an athlete you are, an entertainer you are, a business mogul that you are, we all still have coaches because coaches can see things from the sideline that we may not be able to see from being within the game. I remember when I first got into law enforcement, I had two coaches in particular. One was Charles. Charles, I noticed he started a cleaning company when we were both in law enforcement. I noticed that he started driving a different car. He started having a different financial aura about himself. So I asked him certain things about business development, how to start companies, what I need to do to determine if I need an LLC, partnership, sole proprietorship, C Corp, S Corp. So he taught me about entity setup. He also taught me about LLCs. He also taught me about not commingling funds with business. But see, if I struck out on my own and tried to figure this thing out on my own, it could have been disastrous. So I had a coach step by step who walked me through. I had another coach. His name is Jeff. Jeff was also in law enforcement. I noticed Jeff was driving extraordinarily different cars than the rest of us. He was also living in neighborhoods that were quite different than what we were living in law enforcement. And knowing that our salaries in law enforcement did not meet the lifestyle that he had. So I was like, hey, listen, Jeff, what are you doing? Subsequently, after keep bugging Jeff for a little while, he finally told me. He said, you need to look into real estate. It's a lot of money in real estate. So I started my first company in real estate, which was a home inspection company, where I started making 3 times the amount that I made in a month in 1 week. I got to the point where I was having $1,000 days, and this is back in the 90s, 1997 to be exact. And I remember I was making like $300 per inspection. And within about 3 months, I worked my way up to where I was actually doing 3 inspections a day, every day, 3, 5, 6 times a week. So I was making close to $1,000 every day systematically. Then Jeff said, listen, now advance your real estate, get your real estate license. So I became a real estate agent, did exceptionally well there. So now I was in a position where my real estate company, for being a realtor, I was making 3 times the amount that I was making as a law enforcement official. And over here in my home inspection business, I was also making twice as much as I was making in law enforcement. So I maintained that position for about 10 months, roughly 9 or 10 months, to where I got to the point where I said, you know what? I have met and surpassed greatly what I was making in law enforcement. But this wouldn't have happened if I didn't have proper coaching. So a lot of times I think people want to go through life and just try to figure it out on your own, but coaching allows you to compress time, to speed up time. Coaching allows you to buy time. It buys you speed, because I learned from people who've already gone where I wanted to go, who's already made the mistakes. So now they can shorten my learning curve and teach me, hey, don't do this, don't do that, do it this way instead, go this route instead. And it sped up my learning curve and my ability to be able to retire from law enforcement early. So that is what afforded me to be able to have the extra time to be able to invest in other opportunities, which affords me the lifestyle that I have today, where we have time and money freedoms. You know, we can go do the things we want to do when we want to do them with whomever we want to for however long we want to. That's what's called lifestyle. That's when we have both time and money, and the two married together. See, a lot of times in jobs we may have a lot of money, but typically we don't have a lot of time. Or we have a lot of time, but we're not making the money commensurate. So when both money and time mesh together, that's called lifestyle. That's when you have economic power. Sean, what is economic power? Economic power is when you sign the front and the back of your check. That's when you have economic power. When you have economic power, your voice is amplified. Things that are important to you, social things that are important, they become easy to start making effective change, making impact. Okay, so we vote with our dollars in essence. So those are just some of the things I just want to share with you as far as why coaching is important. So many times I think people just really think they can just go at it alone, but everybody needs a coach. If you're working with someone who doesn't have a coach, you may want to reconsider being coached by that person. All right, guys, I'm Dr. Sean J. Harris. Hopefully that made a lot of sense to you and make you start thinking a different perspective towards success and how to attain success. Now, can you attain success by yourself? Absolutely. But why take a long time when you can compress that into a shorter period of time? Because now, just turned 50 years old a couple weeks ago, but for the last 25, 26 years, I've been living the life that I want to live, that I design. I live my life by design. We travel, we do the cool things, eat fine foods, but most importantly, we have our health, we have our relationships, we have a tight family unit because we don't stress over money problems. We don't stress over problems that many people may have that are money related. So once you resolve the money situation, so many things in your life changes. Okay, guys? So again, I'm Dr. Sean J. Harris. Make impact and make a difference.